It was an organization whose members called themselves the family, but in reality, they were far from it. Children of God was a cult, and Daniella Mestyanek Young was a third-generation member before she finally escaped. She'll join us live in just a minute, but first, here's her story.
In times of social change, people are looking for something clear.
David Berg founded the Children of God in 1968.
He is the end-time prophet. He has come at this time to bring us to the end of the world.
Daniella's great-grandmother donates her home to the organization, making it one of the first communes in Texas.
I knew that because of my great-grandmother, I was special. Because of my grandfather, we were special. And because we were third generation.
Daniella's mother was just 13 when she was spiritually married to David.
There was a marriage ceremony. It was called teen training, and all of these leaders sent their daughters from the ages of 14 to 3 to the prophet to be educated specially by him. And there was a marriage ceremony where they all married Jesus through the prophet.
David's message: God is love, and love is sex, and there are no limits.
We were supposed to be sexually liberated, so we were not supposed to sleep with underwear, and the uncles would come by, I'm sure as young as 2 or 3, and check that.
Children are taught to read, but can only choose books written by David.
Why would you go to school? Why would you invest in a home? Why would you do anything other than give up everything, live in this commune, and be part of God's army? Because the world's gonna end.
Children are only allowed to see their parents for 1 hour a day.
Me specifically, I was used as an actress on videos from the age of 1 to the age of 10.
Daniella buries her pain for the camera.
The thing you absorb the most from the cult is the outside world is bad. You'll never fit in. They'll never accept you. You'll never be normal.
Wow, glued. Daniella has written a book about her harrowing life story, and she's here to share a little bit of it with us. So please welcome to the show, Daniella. Daniella, thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Daniella, you were a part of Children of God until you escaped at age 15. So what was that moment that triggered your escape?
So I was always very rebellious, but on 9/11, I was 14 years old, and I was seeing live television on for the first time. And I'm seeing this horrifying stuff going on, and I'm hearing the adults around me describing this as God's just, loving punishment. And at the same time, I'm hearing the television saying the words religious extremists.
Wow.
And I just had that thought, oh, I wonder if we're the bad guys too.
Wow,
I just got chills.
I know, that's what a weird set of circumstances. Well, the good thing is that you're here with us on DBL. We want to know how you got here. How did you actually leave this cult?
So I started what turned into a 1.5-year campaign of just making myself so much trouble that they would realize that even though I was famous or important, that they just wanted to let me go, which climaxes with me literally climbing over the commune walls to go have sex with an outsider, because it's all the sex all the time, but the worst sin you can commit is to be with a systemite. So that brought my excommunication, and I was definitely scared. Losing everything you know at 15 is pretty hard. But my mom, who was also born and raised in the cult, she took me outside the walls and she just said, look, go.
Wow. I can't even imagine what you've been through. You also graduated high school and college, and then you even served in the military after escaping. But here's something very interesting. You started having nightmares. What were they, and why did they start during your time in service?
So I was triggered from the very beginning of basic training, and I expected the militarism comparisons. In the Children of God, we were God's army, preparing and always constantly drilling for Armageddon and the end of days. And so that really started for me in basic training. But what I really noticed, the trauma triggers, and was surprised by was when I deployed for the first time to Afghanistan, and I'm 23 years old, and I'm way outnumbered by men, and I'm again on this commune that I can't leave. And the threat of sexual violence is so, so high and does end up happening to me. And when writing this book, I thought a lot about the parallels between the cult children who are taken away over and over again and then given back, and the women in the military who, it doesn't seem like America really understands what happens for the daughters of America when we disappear behind the high commune walls of the Department of Defense. And I wanted to pull on those parallels a little bit.
What a fascinating story. You had so many bad, toxic relationships in your life. I hate to skip through all the things, we're running out of time. How did you get through your traumas and come out the other side to the person you are today?
I ran so fast and so hard, and I tried to be so perfect. Perfectionism was my addiction, and I was trying to hide. And I finally, Uncultured is kind of the story of how that catches up with me, and I have to just make the decision to stop and to start speaking to people and telling them I grew up in a cult, and that was the first step in letting people get to know me and understanding that the outside world isn't all evil and that I could find a place.
Daniella, your resiliency is unmatched. I ask everybody to read this. DBL Nation, you can get a copy of Uncultured anywhere books are sold. Also, check out the audiobook, which Daniella voices herself. Daniella, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today, for your bravery. We appreciate you. We'll be right back. Thank you.